Okay, I know I did the video about Martin Buber already one time, but I think that the audio that I did, it might sound a little funny, and I wanted to come out and just do another really quick video about Martin Buber and the many ways that it can be interpreted, or that his philosophy can be applied to the whole idea of sex robots and this thing that's going on with campaign against sex robots. First off, Dr. Richardson claims that the use of dolls is unethical in consideration of the philosophy of Martin Buber, the it-thou philosophy. If you look at the it-thou of Martin Buber is talking about how people look at other people and whether people consider each other an it or if they consider each other a thou. It's all about respect and how we interact with each other, how we look at each other, how we view each other. She interprets the use of dolls as a kind of synthetic imaginary sort of play dominance or a synthetic patriarchy where men are allowed to abuse the dolls. This will cause men to seek that type of relationship from human females, thereby causing them some abuse. Here's what's really happening, okay? If you have a narcissistic man, he is not in any way, shape, or form ever going to want to mess around with a doll. Narcissistic men need real human victims to extract narcissistic supply. You cannot get narcissistic supply out of an inanimate object, out of a doll. It can't happen. The only way to obtain narcissistic supply is by making other human beings suffer. So if men are turning to dolls, it's simply because they want to have an orgasm. They want that physiological rush. They want the physiological fireworks shooting up and down their spine and into their brain that you get, that little euphoria, that sense of orgasm that happens in your nervous system when you have an orgasm. That's what they're after. That's what most people are going to want when they go and get a sex toy or a sex doll or anything like that. It's also the release of brain chemicals. It has nothing to do with honing your skills as a patriarch or honing your skills in a way that allows you to refine your game in abusing or dominating females, real human females. It has nothing to do with that. The other thing I would say is that men who get a doll are not getting the doll so that they can treat the doll like an it. Men who get dolls are doing so because they want to treat the doll as a thou. Okay, if a man is in a relationship, a female who is like really crazy, not all females are going to do this to men, but some will. And if you get hooked up with a female who's really crazy, she could be a feminist or she could just be a psychotic person. She could be a narcissist. Very high likelihood she is a narcissist anyway, because so many females are. However, whatever her problem is, she is not going to treat you as a thou. She is not going to respect you as a thou or like the head of household or any of that stuff. In fact, you'd be lucky if you got treated as an it. So if you really want to apply the philosophy of Martin Buber, you have to look at people who are in relationships right now. And are these people treating each other already? What is the relationship of men and women, humans, currently in society? Are they treating each other as a thou or are they treating each other as an it? And that is the question you have to ask if you're going to look at the philosophy of Martin Buber. In my opinion, people are treating each other not as a thou. No, it's not that good. Some people are very, very lucky and they do get treated as a thou. They treat each other very respectfully. Most people treat each other less than that. And if they would treat each other as an it, that would be good, because I think that the way they're treating each other is actually less than an it. So you have to ask yourself, are they, if they're not treating each other as a thou, then are they treating each other as an it? Well, in my opinion, many people in relationships today treat each other as less than an it. Actually, less than an it. They get into a relationship and then they just suck each other dry of narcissistic supply. And this is being treated as less than an it. This is like the way a spider sucks the liquefied innards from one of its meals, or how a vampire sucks the blood out of a living victim. It's less than an it. And this is why people are running away from relationships. And frankly, it's the exact reason why some people would go and have a relationship with a doll or a robot, because they don't want to be involved. They don't want to be a victim of narcissistic abuse. Okay. The rise of these dolls and robots, it fills a need, and it's a healthy need for men to feel a true sense of empathy towards someone or something. Narcissistic females refuse to provide that outlet. If you're dating or if you're married to a narcissist, that person is not going to accept your empathy or your love. They just won't do it. A lot of times when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, anything that you do for that person, if you buy them a birthday card, get them some flowers, whatever it might be, it always winds up being used as a weapon against you in some way, shape, or form. They turn it around and they use it to beat the crap out of you, mentally or emotionally. That's what happens when you're in a relationship with a narcissist. Because there are so many narcissists in society today, society is literally overwhelmed with narcissists. The only way for many men to experience anything close to empathy, and the only way for many men to experience anything close to a relationship where you're treating the other person as a thou, is to have a synthetic relationship with a doll or a robot. Okay, this is an attempt to experience the act of treating someone as a thou. It may be synthetic, it may be fake, it may be a virtual reality like a game, but it's better than nothing at all. And if you're in a relationship with a real live human being and they're treating you this way, a lot of times there's no escape. These people who are stuck in this situation of abuse may wind up losing their mind, losing their shit, going crazy, doing something stupid, getting locked up, harming themselves or others, getting into trouble with the police, or even going to prison prison, a lot of these people who are in this dynamic, they wind up murdering each other, burning down the house, doing really crazy stuff. So this is not just a little joke like people playing with Barbies. This is a real live survival issue. This is an issue of life or death for a lot of people. Okay, so the only way for men to experience this healthy outlet of empathy is with a synthetic partner. And for many men, the presence of a female is actually worse than being alone because of the narcissistic abuse. Now, dolls are incapable of narcissism toward their owner. A doll or a robot cannot be a narcissist unless you program it to do so. And it is possible to experience a simulated or virtual relationship with a doll which is healthy, and that's what most men are seeking, even if the doll is being marketed as a sex doll. The function that the doll will serve is to provide men with an escape from individual narcissists, social narcissistic situations, or institutionalized narcissistic abuse. For instance, in the court system, the courts are actually behaving like an institutionalized narcissist against men. And the only way to escape that is by either getting a robot or getting a sex doll. Now, to escape the narcissistic abuse of other humans, these robots and dolls, it gives men an opportunity to simulate the act of empathizing with a synthetic robot, which is a good thing, because if they're not allowed to practice empathy, they'll never get skilled at practicing empathy, and empathy will simply die due to disuse and neglect. I believe that empathy is on the verge of extinction. Maybe not on the verge of extinction, but it's a very kind of an uncommon thing, and people are not genuinely experiencing empathy toward others anywhere in society today. There's so little trust, and there's really very good reasons for not trusting others, okay? Because there's so much narcissism that you cannot possibly trust other people in a world which is submerged in narcissistic blood-sucking. So I know that what Kathleen Richardson and the movement against, the campaign against sex robots, what they'd like to say is that, men are treating robots as an it, and they're going to carry over this behavior, and they're going to treat real humans as an it. But in fact, she's just twisting that philosophy to suit her narrative. There is a counterpoint that could be made regarding the it-thou philosophy of Martin Buber, and it is very legitimate. And once again, just to recap, if you are a healthy person who wants to treat others as a thou, but the problem is all the humans around you are narcissists, then the only way that you're going to be able to practice this is by getting a robot or a sex doll. Because if you treat a narcissist as a thou, they'll throw it in your face. Okay, that's a very dangerous thing to do. You cannot go around in life treating a narcissist as a thou. Okay, a narcissist is somebody who is trying to suck the blood out of you. Okay, and this is a mental illness. They can't help it, and it's actually very dangerous to associate with narcissists or to treat them as a thou. They have to be treated as an it. But we don't like to go. If you're a healthy person, you don't want to go through life treating other people as an it. And so the only refuge from this is to have somebody that you can trust, that you can treat as a thou, and you can have a genuine relationship, a respectful relationship with that person or that thing. And for many people, the only way you're going to find this is by getting a doll or a robot. That's the only way, because most of the humans out there are so narcissistic that it's very dangerous to treat them as a thou. They will use that as a weapon against you, okay? And they will actually destroy you. If they cause your death, they won't care. They'll dance on your grave. This is why people have to watch their back. This is reality, and unfortunately, that's the way it is. When you're surrounded by narcissists in this world, it changes everything. It definitely changes the dating game. It changes the nature of interpersonal relationships. It changes the way we trust or view government, people running for office. It changes everything. Unless you want to be hooked up with a narcissist, or if you want a high likelihood that you're going to be hooked up with a narcissist, the thing to do is to get yourself a doll or a robot, and then you will be safe from narcissistic abuse. So that's all I had to say about Martin Buber, and I thank you for listening.